Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 4 of my Crew Motorfest playthrough. This is essentially turning into a daily series on the channel. If you've missed parts 1, 2 and 3, I'll have them linked down below in a separate playlist so you can kind of follow me through my journey of tackling all of the playlists the Crew Motorfest has to offer. Now the game's actually fully launched worldwide now, meaning that literally everyone can play it, whether you're on early access or not. The game is widely available and able to be played, as well as a 5-hour free trial for anyone that can go ahead and just get that from your store, depending on which platform you're on, whether that be PlayStation, Xbox or PC through Ubisoft. Now let's get straight into it with the Porsche Legacy playlist. I'm going to let the intro play and then I'll join you as we get into our first race covering this iconic German car.
We're all huge Porsche fans, and it means a lot to us to have such an incredible manufacturer joining the adventure.
He's trying to go on the outside, but he goes for it immediately.
So let's get started with the 911 Legacy playlist. As you can see, we're going to get a hint at a couple of the cars that we're going to be using throughout this playthrough, as well as the first car for our first race. We're going to go through time and do a bit of time traveling through Porsche 911 history, and we're going to start off obviously with the original as it gets lowered down to us in this awesome sort of little shipment container that Porsche have shipped over to the Hawaiian Islands that we obviously play at within the Crew Motorfest. So let's get started. Now I'm going to be playing this one in a crew, so you may notice maybe the fact that there's an extra classic 911 there in the race. Overall, this is basically going to be a bit of a shipment container run. It's a very kind of short circuit, all kind of within the harbour where all of the Porsches were delivered to the Crew Motorfest festival. So we're going to get underway, and as you can see, you can't really start off in any better way than going all the way back to the beginning of the Porsche 911. Now in terms of the handling of this car, it was actually much more grippier than I assumed it was going to be. However, as we kind of all know, Porsche 911s have gone a bit crazy over the years, and this one is much more down on power than the rest of the field. However, it's not really too much to worry. It does kind of slow the AI down at least a little bit, so you don't get absolutely thrashed throughout this run. So there's a nice little layout to this circuit, there's a decent flow to it, and I'm going to end up in a bit of a battle with my crewmate as we go through this race and go into the latter stages. So I thought I did have the lead and I'd be able to, you know, kind of get clear at this point, but yep, not for long. You're going to see Jody absolutely fly past me on boost right now. So we are going to drop back down to P2. I have to try and regain first place. Now the way this works, and I think most of you will probably know this by now, I have mentioned it, if you are in a crew, as long as at least one person from your crew meets the objective, it will pass it for the rest of the crew. Even though originally it won't tell you have, it's just going off your personal sort of result at first. Overall it will tick off as long as at least one person in your crew manages to reach that objective. So yeah, if you come say 1, 2 and 3 in your crew, then it's not too bad, but if you only have one person up there, it doesn't matter, it will clear it for the rest of you. So we're going to finalize the event here, get my words right there, and we're going to finish event number 1. In terms of this playlist, it's a bit on the shorter side, definitely one of the shorter playlists as a whole, and we're going to move on to race 2, and as you can see, it's rally raid time with the legendary Porsche rally raid right here. Now this for me is definitely one of the better rally raid vehicles in the entire game. Just overall the handling and the feel of this thing is fantastic, and it does carry some great speed, and you're going to see that mostly throughout this event when you do jump into this Porsche. So we're going to go straight downhill and do the typical rally raid stuff of just not giving a crap about any roads or any rivers or anything like that. Nothing is going to stop you, and we're going to power on through this event. Now, in terms of the overall event length and how this event's run, it's a bit on the shorter side, but it's definitely a nice little quick blast to showcase some of Porsche's motorsport history with their brand. Obviously, the 911 is definitely known for its kind of racing pedigree, but there may be people out there, maybe of a younger audience, that might not know that Porsche did rather quite well on the dirt as well, and this one definitely showcases that side of Porsche's sort of racing and motorsport pedigree. So we're going to do a few more jumps and head onto the beach right here, through a few caves and through the ocean itself to finish off this event. Now, this is definitely when the game is looking at its best, when you're in these kind of coastal areas. You've got the blue sea, the sand, the volcanic rocks all over. It's just absolutely incredible. So we're going to go for a nice little splash and then finish off the event nice and quick. So there we go. Nice easy win, just under 3 minutes to take that win. No real problems with the AI. They were rather quite easy in that one. I do find that in the rally raid they're more susceptible to making mistakes. So let's move on to probably my favourite event of the bunch. As you can see, we've got another classic Porsche, and not as classic as before, but definitely up there. Obviously, it's the turbo model, a 3.6 litre. What a beautiful machine, and we're going to be racing it in probably the most draw-dropping location of the bunch around the island of Hawaii. As you can see, it's all kind of in the sort of volcanic region. You're going to take yourself out of the volcanoes and sort of into the more suburb city areas, which is just absolutely awesome, especially in a car like this. Now, this car right here is overall one of the better cars in the entire game for not just driving, but overall top speed, if you can get it tuned right. So I do recommend going ahead and actually purchasing this car. Not only does it look absolutely stunning, it's a very quick car on top of that. But in terms of this event, as you can see, you're going to start seeing these little things kind of scattered in the road. Now, you may have also noticed that there's a clean driving bonus. So the main reason they're kind of there is to sort of catch you out. Overall, does it matter if you don't get that clean driving bonus that it's going to give you? Not really. The payout really isn't too much in sort of the grand scheme of things. You're only getting, you know, a relatively small bonus overall, and you will literally only have to tap something to begin to lose it. So it is a nice little kind of thing. You know, the whole playlist is sort of about clean driving these brand of vehicles, but to be honest, it's really not a kind of make or break situation whether you keep it or you lose it. I believe you can't actually fail if you lose the clean driving, so don't really worry about it. Now we're going to move into something a bit more in your face. This is the 911, I want to say Straßen version, something like that. Basically a road going version of the famous 911 GT1, and it's an absolute stunner. You've probably seen this in a bunch of racing games before, most notably for me it was in the Crew 2, as well as the likes of GT7 as of recent. Overall, it's a fantastic car, and we're going to be absolutely smashing up the highways of Hawaii with this thing. So this event here is just all about speed. Now, there's a nice little bit to this event that it actually kind of branches off into different ways on the highway. As you can see, you can essentially choose your path. Now, some paths are quicker than others, but in reality it doesn't really matter. You're kind of not going to lose too much time depending on which way you go. It's all about kind of just choosing the fastest, easiest route for you. Personally, I just wanted to kind of swip and swap and you know, kind of switch it up a little bit. So you'll probably see that I'm just kind of choosing different routes here, there and everywhere. But overall, this was a fairly easy event, and there isn't too much to talk about. It entirely takes place on the highway in this very awesome Porsche 911 GT1. A one-make race, to be honest. That's literally it. There's not too much else to talk about in terms of sort of engaging footage. There wasn't too much to capture, and once I got the lead, well, that was pretty much it all the way to the end. As you can see, we're going to finish up here, taking a nice easy first place, gapping the AI by rather quite a margin. They were obviously quick, but just really not that quick depending on your difficulty. I personally got mine set to 4 out of 5 for the AI. Now we're going to get into, I guess, more of the Porsche racing heritage, this time with the 911 Cup car. Now, I absolutely love this car. I've seen it at plenty of real world tracks, so to be able to actually use it within the Crew Motorfest is a great time, and I really do kind of like the whole atmosphere that goes along with this event. It really does feel like a sort of enclosed sort of street circuit, obviously through one of the few cities that you will see within this game. So we're gonna, you know, kind of try and make the most of it and absolutely drive this car to the limits. It really does have a beautiful sound, absolutely amazing layout. Set at night, it just feels like you're doing kind of a night race using this car, and it was a fantastic time. To be honest, in terms of this playlist, it ranks quite highly for me, although it's quite short. The just whole history of it, going through time, you know, kind of working your way up to these more modern Porsche 911s and such, seeing the different history between the models, seeing where they kind of came from, all the way through the racing heritage, the rally heritage. It really does a good job of showing off sort of the, you know, impact that this kind of, you know, model of cars had over the years on not only motorsport, rally, and obviously the road going versions, which are extremely popular sort of dream cars for many people. And it's a great thing about the Crew Motorfest. It really does feel like a love letter to car culture, and it's no better shown than obviously in this 911 playlist. As you can see, I'm showing you a bit of the in-car view of this 911 Cup car, and it looks absolutely fantastic at night with all the lighting. I really do like the more dynamic in-car view within this game. So we're going to finish this event up. It's a 2-lap race. Overall, it's not too lengthy. As you can see, we did it in 2 minutes 45, and we're going to move on to our final event, and we're going to go back to the streets for a head-to-head showdown between the 911 GT3 RS and the more modern Porsche 992 model, which will be our reward car in a bit more of an extreme way. Obviously, it'll be the Carrera 4S, I believe, of the 992 model that we're going to get rewarded for beating this playlist, and this is going to be the final showdown of the bunch against a car that realistically does have plenty more performance. I would say the one you're given is actually quite basic, and I believe the sort of more standard model, there's no upgrades or anything, whereas the 911 GT3 RS is a very capable car, and that's the least I can say about it. So the AI is going to get a bit of a janky start. If you do start in a crew, you might end up running into the back of them. However, you will notice that throughout this event, that AI will absolutely fly. If you do give them too much space, there's a good chance they will just disappear into the distance. I did actually have to restart this one, mainly not only because I kind of crashed the first time around, but the AI just kind of disappeared into the distance. So try your best not to let them get past. Like I said, you can turn the difficulty down, but then there's no real challenge, and I do like a decent challenge, and well, this little head-to-head battle that we had here definitely provided that. So in terms of the overall kind of route that you're going to be taking, you're mainly going to be within the city, and you're going to be doing plenty of jumping about and trying to kind of, you know, find those little shortcuts typical of the Crew series, trying to find places you can kind of cut through, take time away from the AI, and obviously trying to land those massive jumps that the game's going to throw at you. It is a damn good time. So as you can see, we kind of got stuck up on the AI here, and I'm going to do one of those typical Crew sort of little cut throughs and take the checkpoint and take the lead from here. Now we're around about a third of the way in. As you can see, my crewmate there battling away with the AI, and when you get to about halfway through, you're going to have this massive jump over the highway and getting back down into the streets. It was just absolutely awesome. Now the AI can actually make a mistake there. The first run I did kind of notice them sort of wobble a bit and nearly kind of lose the rear end, but overall we had no such luck this time. We did manage to take the win though, finally beating this event in just under 4 minutes, and now we are going to be able to claim our reward for beating this 911 Legacy playlist. So let's go and have a look at our reward. As you can see, we are getting rewarded with the latest version of the Porsche 911. I believe it is the 992 model. It's the Carrera 4S, and it's just an absolutely stunning car, and one that I've absolutely enjoyed using since getting it as a reward. So here we go. This is the prize for all of that hard work and seeing all of that history about the 911. So we're coming to an end of part 4 of our Crew Motorfest playthrough. So far we've done the Hawaii scenic tour and seen everything we can see about our new location within the Crew Motorfest. We've done the All Japan playlist, having a look at some of the JDM heroes of the 90s and onwards, and we've also covered the Ford Mustang as well as now the Porsche 911. So next up we'll be going over to Donut Media to see what they have in store for us, and trust me, there is some amazing shenanigans going off within that playlist with a lot of actual choice to how you tackle that playlist, which I really like. So don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and comment, and join me next time as we go and see what James and Donut Media have in store for us within the Crew Motorfest. I'll see you later guys, take care, peace.